One-on-ones are a part of a normal meeting cadence we teach in EntreLeadership, and we want to give you a snapshot of what that might look like for you. Daniel, what's up?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. Good
Absolutely.
to be back.
So we're going to role play this. I am walking into your office. It's a Wednesday at 10:30. I'm a member on your team. I report to you, and it's time for our 30-minute one-on-one. And we're going to give them a taste today, all right?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay.
Man.
Door opens. Hey, what's up, Daniel?
Hey, George. How's your week been, man?
Good, dude. We had a fun weekend. A little sleepy still, but, waking up. Second cup of the day.
Why is that? What did you get into?
We had some house projects, and we had a friend's birthday party, and I'm an old man, and so if I'm not in bed by 9, I turn into a pumpkin, and it was a little bit of a later night, so I'm paying the price.
All right.
How about you guys? Man. You and Allison and Eli getting anything fun?
Yeah, man. This has been a busy week. Work-wise, it's been great. I've been having a lot of fun. There's been a couple stressful things, but getting back into the groove of things. Outside of work, I'll tell you, our son Eli just started a Mother's Day Out program, which is really cool. He's getting older, and it's been really fun. So he had his first day the other day, and he did awesome. They had brought a fire truck to the school, and he's just obsessed with anything and everything trucks right now.
All thing trucks.
And so yeah, man.
I bet Grandpa Dave loves that.
He does.
Papa Dave.
He does.
His grandbaby loves a truck.
Yeah, and so right now he's just obsessed, and he just walks around the house talking about trucks all day, and it's so that's been the highlight of my week. But yeah, man.
It's the simple things.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fun.
Yeah. How are things work-wise for you? What's kind of top of mind? What's going on in your world?
Let's see. Well, I'm doing the copywriting on a new course inside of EntreLead, which has been a lot of fun, but man, it is more than I bargained for, because we've been down a writer, and so I'm kind of taking this on all on my own. And there's just a lot of content in there, and so I'm just in the weeds right now. It's been some had to skip a lunch or two just to try to power through it.
Okay. Tell me more about that. So you're doing the marketing and the copy, and so we lost Alex, who was doing copywriting for us a couple months ago, and I didn't realize that it's been affecting your day so much.
Yeah, I think I kind of accidentally absorbed a lot of that work, and I could have done a better job kind of bringing that, going, hey, this is too much. But I thought, just on first blush from our meetings, that I could handle it.
How many hours a week do you think you're spending time doing that? Is it 1 or 2 hours a week, or is this ending up being 5 or 10?
Yeah, it's a lot closer to the latter. It's more like a 5 or 10, and it's hard to get all the other projects done and keep up with just the day-to-day meetings and emails on top of all that. So it's been a lot, to be honest.
I appreciate you being a team player and taking ownership over the problem and doing what needs to be done to get this course finished and keep moving forward. And at the same time, your time is more valuable doing your role, which is marketing. And so I really do want you focused there. And so I appreciate you stepping up and doing some of that copywriting. And honestly, we probably need you to keep doing some extent of that. But 5 or 10 hours a week, that's way too much. I don't think that's a good use of your time or our team's time. Why don't I look for some solutions for you? Can I lean in there and help?
Dude, that'd be amazing.
Okay, so right now I'm thinking, hey, maybe there's another team that I could talk to and see what their copywriting availability is. If they have another team member I can pull over and maybe share the burden with you.
That'd be awesome.
Let me dive in a little bit more and get an understanding before I commit to a solution. But I'm thinking that, and I've got a couple of things in my back pocket that if we need to do, we can. And so let me circle up with a few people. And do you mind if I get back to you tomorrow on that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I appreciate that,
cool.
man.
Can you hold down the fort until then?
I think so. I'll last another 24 hours.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate you doing that.
Absolutely.
Hey, I've got one more thing on my list that I wanted to cover with you.
Yeah.
So this is a observation that I've had that I just want to give you some feedback on. Are you open to that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, so I've noticed as I walk by your desk, there seems to be a pattern where you tend to be on your phone a decent amount. And I don't know what you're doing. I can't see your phone. But I'll tell you, as a leader, I assume when I see you or other people on their phone that it's not work related. And I get it. Sometimes my wife texts me or something goes on. But you can see do you understand my perspective of how that feels off to me? Like it seems like there may be, is there something going on that I need to be aware of? Tell me more about what's going on there.
I mean, honestly, man, I haven't really noticed that too much, but if anything, I have been a little bit stressed, like I mentioned, and so that can lead to some distraction. And there has been some, just stuff going on at home with family, a little bit of drama, nothing serious, but stuff that's kind of just taken my focus away a little bit. Yeah. And sometimes I just need a moment to just not be focused on work. So that's probably where it's coming from.
Man, I'm so sorry to hear that. I didn't realize there was something stressing going on there. Is there anything you need? Like, is there anything I can do for you there?
I appreciate that, man. I don't think so right now. I think it's one of these things it'll blow over by the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just one of those weeks where I just needed a moment,
Yeah.
and so that's my bad. Especially in meetings and things like that, I don't want to be perceived as a guy who's just distracted, disengaged on his phone. So I'll be much more aware of that going forward.
Man, I appreciate that. Yeah. So, hey, in general, like, I get when things come up, hey, if you need to step out, I think that'd probably be a better solution than being at your desk. If you need to step out of the office for a second, take a call or take care of something, no problem. And, we can work with you if you need to take some of your time off or something like that. We'd love to work with you.
Appreciate that.
But in general, it definitely sends the wrong message if I know other people, if they see you on their phone, they're going to assume that you're doing something that's not work related and you're goofing off, and that it's okay to do that. And so obviously I want us focused. I want us working. When we're at work, we need to work hard. We need to be all in on what we're doing. So, if it is something going on at home, I just ask that you step out and deal with it in that way.
Yeah.
Cool.
That makes total sense.
All right, man.
Thanks.
Thanks for being cool about it. Thanks for understanding.
Yeah. Anything else today?
Yeah. So, hey, let's spend the next of the one-on-one talking about some of the projects you've been working on in this coursework and the marketing stuff that we're doing.
Sweet.
So you want to dive in there?
Let's do it. And that concludes our snapshot of our one-on-one. So that was fun, Daniel.
I felt like that was real for a second.
It got too real. I was like, oh, dang. I need to get off TikTok.
I was about to ask more personal questions, but I was like, for the sake of this podcast, I don't know if you can make up more.
It's
and
fine.
I don't know if I want to take you there.
Well, part of that is to show that we can go from, a little bit of personal life, real casual, friend to friend. We can move into work projects. We can move into some hard stuff as part of the one-on-one. And we always end on a positive note. There's no animosity. There's no tension there.
And I'll say as a leader, usually like I have to balance asking about that stuff. Like if there is something serious going on, I can't force you to tell me. But usually in my experience, a team member will just come forward and say, hey, we're struggling with my mother-in-law's health and we're trying to find her a place to live. Or, usually it isn't so crazy they can't tell you. I think for the sake of this podcast, in our role playing, we didn't want to just make up some crazy example.
Yeah, that too dark.
But yeah,
sure.
I think as a leader, balancing, you don't want to pry. But I will say, just from an expectation of the listener, usually people are just going to come forward and tell you what's going on.
Yeah, and hopefully there's a level of trust and vulnerability that it's not going to be an overshare situation, but it's something I feel comfortable coming to my leader going, hey, here's what's actually going on, and here's the real. Yeah. And so that's one part of the one-on-one. Is there anything else that would normally happen in a one-on-one for you and one of your team members?
Yeah, let me dive into that. One more comment kind of on the phone thing. I think as a leader, I was trying to balance there. You gave what was either true or a excuse. And as a leader, I'm kind of giving you the benefit of the doubt while still addressing it. And so, you may have actually been goofing off on your ESPN app or reading stupid articles or something like that. And that may be true, but regardless, the message was sent by me by addressing it and saying, hey, I've noticed, going forward, here's my expectation. And so if you had given a different response, if you had said, hey, you're right, I have just been distracted in general, then it's another conversation of a little bit more serious of like, hey, we got work to do, man. This is why it's important. And I can't have you doing that. That's not why you're here. That's not why I'm here. I hold myself to a higher standard. I'm going to hold you to that same standard. Yeah. And so, different ways you can go about that. So you pulled the family crisis card, and so I showed a lot of empathy.
It's a good card to pull.
And I assumed the best. I assumed, trust there, and I did. I do believe you in that.
Thank you. Thank you for believing me.
As far as the rest of the one-on-one, what we would really spend our time diving into is oftentimes team members are sharing, or leader and team member are sharing, catching each other up on what's going on. So it'd be you catching me up on the details of, hey, here's how this project is going. Here's how, such and such is happening. And then I would also be giving some feedback. Hey, that's great. Cool. Keep going. Or, hey, this is something I really want to make you aware of to watch out for as you're going down this route. I want to challenge you to think this way. Or here's a guardrail. I don't want you to go over this boundary when you're working on this project. Yeah. And so it's often those kind of things. And then any coaching thing, I don't do it every one-on-one or every week, but I really try to be intentional about looking for patterns. So I may say, hey, beyond just you being on your phone, I may do some coaching around, hey, when I was in marketing back in the day, these are some really things that I learned, and I want to teach you about that. Or, hey, George, let's talk about building trust with the people around you. You do a good job at it, but you could do a better job at it. And here's some tactical things of how you can really build trust with your team members that you're working with. Because, man, this project, to me, it looks like it's a little bit, the team's not unified. So here's how I want you to challenge you, George, to make that a more unified project with the people you're working on. So those are just some examples of ways I may coach you as you're going throughout your week.
Yeah. And naturally, I might come to you with a few more blockers, a few more problems that I'm trying to figure out, that I'm just like, hey, this is really holding me back, or I had an issue over here, and I love your help, maybe thinking outside the box with solutions I'm not thinking about. So there's a back and forth, and a great leader will always make the team member feel heard and seen and help them move forward.
Yep.
Instead of just, a straight up venting session, they go, okay, well, time for the next meeting. You got to go,
And, sometimes as a leader, it is a space for your team to vent. You want them to come with problems and with frustrations. It's a safe space for that. And sometimes it's hey, George, come on, get your head back in order. But oftentimes it's me listening, me asking questions, and helping them to get to the mindset they need to have their mindset on.
Yeah. Well, we've never had an official one-on-one, but I now know what it would be like, and I thank you for that. Thanks for being on.
Sure. Thanks, man.